Well, they say when life gives you onions, dice it up nicely and serve it with some nkwobi. That's how I like to, say it. A well-cooked dish. My name is Mazino Appeal. There's so much planned for you on today's show. Do not forget to stream the show live at tvc.tv and on Facebook at tvcentertainment.tv.
We need your comments. We love those comments. Just use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC on all our social media platforms.
And of course, you can also download our mobile app from any Android or iOS store to watch us on your mobile device from anywhere that you might be in the world.
Another strong recommendation is that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's TVC Entertainment. Now, YouTube is where we get to put all our videos from past episodes so that you can catch up.
Yes, you better believe that. And whether you have pay TV or no pay TV, whether it's free, all channels or not, you can still see it on YouTube if you get the joke. We're going to talk about that. And for a musical performance, Nigerian-born soul singer Adedipo would be serenading us with his songs.
Oyin Deborah Oyesonya, that's Oluwatoyin Deborah Oyesonya, is the CEO of Royal Hugs Empire Surprises. Now let's find out how she runs her business and what that's all about on our SME segment this Monday.
Oh boy.
Okay.
What a weekend, yeah?
Eventful one.
Eventful is the word, and finally we're here for a Monday. We get to recover from the weekend. That's the way I like to see it. But
imagine recovering from the weekend.
I know, right?
Oh,
how was your weekend, anyhow?
So it was restful, but there was just so much activity happening online that it was almost hard to ignore. It was definitely hard to ignore everything that's been happening. But I think the schools are opening again today.
Yeah, that is true. That is very, very
true. So
true.
kids are getting ready for school this morning.
I want to ask Mike how his weekend was. Mike, how was your weekend?
As you know, phone calls.
Mike, everybody's having one of those Mondays around here today. Are you one of them?
I thought it had to just be me. But hey, it's been an eventful weekend, of course, a spillover from the week. And we're getting there. That's all I can say. But it was quite restful. We're getting there. We're getting there.
How did you see the games? Did you see it on free paid TV?
Oh, by the way, yeah, I was talking about.
That was huge over the weekend.
I was talking about that last night. So there's this rumor that this particular group, Anonymous, who've been hacking a number of accounts. There's the insinuation that they had hacked a pay TV account, and it's a bit different. Hacking a pay TV account and hacking a Twitter account or a social media account.
Yeah, two different things.
That wasn't the case. So, but at the end of a number of people were spoiled for choice.
That's the word.
It's almost like I need 5 televisions to watch.
That is the word. In fact, people who hadn't registered or subscribed for years actually went back and could still see channels. And they're like, but I don't know. I read through all the statements from the pay TV network and all of that. And they had told, even from before, that they were going to be upgrading their systems. And for that reason, that payments were going to be difficult or non-existent, so they were going to open up all the channels. But then again, the timing of when they released that information seemed a bit suspect because it had happened after it was, hacked, in quotes.
I guess we'll probably never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We know. Calm down. Like last night, you return back to your ginger, your jolly or your confirm with 3.5 channels. You return back. Some people are not used to this up premium.
Listen, as long as they can see us from anywhere and any device they choose, hey, we are good. You guys are welcome inside Wake Up Nigeria. We are happy that you guys are there seeing us this morning. It's going to be a great week like we have planned for you guys. So you just stay right there, okay? For me, my weekend took a short trip over to Badagry just for the loneliness, just for the solitude. Came back. It was quite refreshing. And then I spent all of yesterday in bed. I promise you, every single hour was spent in bed because I really needed that sleep. Because this week, I can tell you, it's going to be a very, very, very long week.
I have a feeling some people were in traffic while you were in bed.
Oh, no, not the traffic.
Yeah, that was a big one for a lot of people. A lot of videos of people in traffic taking one way and all sorts of things. A lot of different alternative views.
We'll talk plenty about all of these views, especially that you're talking about. But I'm sure Mike is ready for the news, and we're ready for you, Mike, so let's take it away.
Now, the leadership of a National Assembly has met with President Muhammadu Buhari over the nationwide end SARS protests. President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, appealed to the youths that it is time to bring their protests towards ending police brutality to an end in order to allow government to address concerns that have been raised. The Speaker of the House of Reps, Femi Gbajabiamila, also urged youths not to lose the plot, but rest on gains made and allow government to act.
Since the protests have taken place and the issues have been accepted, the time has come for the protests to stop, because government needs to have sufficient time, a clement environment to implement the demands of the protesters. We also need to have our economy to continue to go on. When you try to stop everybody from engaging in their lawful businesses, closing roads to markets and other economic places, we distract the economy of the country, and that is not the best way to go.
Government, we spoke with Mr. President, he's looking at every single thing. But some of these things are policy matters that will not take, that are not going to happen overnight. You know, you're not going to ask for electricity overnight, it's going to happen tomorrow. You're not going to have free roads, and it's going to happen tomorrow. But it's a process. And the important thing is that government has heard you loud and clear. I have heard. Now, it's a continuous engagement. I'm more than happy as the Speaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to engage, and I'm sure the Senate President as well, to begin to engage our youth in matters of policy and communicate with Mr. President as well.
Our Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has sought the cooperation of Nigerians in the ongoing development drive for a new and reformed Nigeria police force, and enjoined them to be patient and to believe in the reform processes, which are all directed at ensuring the security, safety, and rights of all. He said the training of the selected officers for the new Police Tactical Team, Special Weapons and Tactics Team, SWAT, will commence Monday, today, 19th of October 2020. The IGP noted that no ex-SARS operatives were shortlisted in the SWAT team. Adamu also explained that the officers selected for the training are young, smart, and energetic officers who have acquired not less than 7 years working experience with clean service records. No pending disciplinary matters, no record of violation of rights of citizens or misuse of firearms, and are physically fit to withstand the rigor of SWAT training and operations. I quote, "The selected officers shall be subject to physical fitness test, medical and toxicology screening, etc., and those found to be unsuitable shall be discharged," end of quote. The IGP promised Nigerians that the SWAT team will operate within a very high professional and ethical standards, rule of law, and dictates of best international policing practices. And in Jos, protesters held a prayer walk which began at about 3 p.m. yesterday and lasted for over 3 hours. The youths walked from Jos Old Airport roundabout to Secretariat Junction before returning to their convergence point, where they prayed for an end to police brutality and the birth of a new Nigeria. Now, some youths in Akure also organized a special session tagged Akure Prayer Walk. The youths walked through major streets of Akure to offer prayers for the development of the country. They say though protests are being held across the nation, it is very vital to also pray and seek the face of God on the way forward for the nation.
I believe that it is time. We will do protest, we will do prayer work. As people are protesting, we are joining it with prayer, calling on God that it is turn and the time of the glory of our country to appear. So this is what we are actually doing today, calling the youth all around the Ondo State.
They come out to pray for the country as a whole, because I definitely know everyone in the country wants a change. And we can't leave out the place of prayer. That's all.
Now, NSAS protesters who have been out on the streets for 11 days now have taken their advocacy to another level through the launch of an online radio. The channel called Sorosoke plays songs calling for a reformed Nigeria. Programs and live reports of missing and found #EndSARS protesters are also being transmitted on the radio. Sorosoke is a Yoruba term which means speak up. It is also a metaphor for all Nigerians to speak up against bad governance and resist corrupt leaders. The channel, through effective and timely communication, is expected to aid the coordination of #EndSARS protests nationwide. Meanwhile, the Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has set up a judicial panel of investigation on alleged cases of police brutalities against residents of the state. Retired Justice Solomon Olugbemi will head the panel. The governor also constituted Special Security and Human Rights Committee and Human Rights Complaints Office with terms of reference on committee's mandates. The committee is charged, among others, with the task of ensuring the protection of the rights of citizens by all security and law enforcement agencies, monitor the prosecution of any officer indicted by the Presidential Panel on Police Reforms, and entertain complaints of human rights violations from the state's Human Rights Complaints Office. The Nigerian Army says Operation Crocodile Smile has nothing to do with the #EndSARS protest. In a statement released yesterday, Army spokesman Musa Sagir said it is wrong to say the exercise is targeted at protesters who are out in major cities across the country. He added that the Army has been professional since the protest started nearly 2 weeks ago. He said exercise Crocodile Smile is a yearly exercise in the Nigerian Army calendar, which traditionally holds from October to December of each year. And on to education, the National Examination Council has rescheduled the Paper 1 Computer Studies practical examination in the ongoing senior school certificate examination earlier scheduled to take place today. A statement by the council explains that the rescheduling of the examination was due to the ongoing EndSARS protest across major cities in the country, which has restricted movement. The new date for the examination is now November 16th, 2020. And that's all for the news for now. We'll take a break. And of course, we have weather and return sports.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mike. And you're welcome. Let's do the headlines this morning after a very eventful weekend, and I bet you were also in the mix. So, let's start off from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Today is, of course, the 19th of October, 2020. And what a day it is to be alive. The Vanguard has this as its major headline: EndSARS, stop Army's planned up Crocodile Smile. CSOs tell FG say military should remain in barracks till protest ends. Kill protesters face International Criminal Court. ASCAB cautions Buhari, says it's ill-timed, could exacerbate citizens' distrust, lack of confidence in state institutions, amongst other sub-headlines there. A look at the picture here is that of the EndSARS protest in Makurdi, Benue State over the weekend, and of course we know that this took place all over Nigeria in different states. At the very top of the Vanguard newspaper, government's committee to wholesale, not just police reform, says Fahimi. And Christian elders threaten to sue FG over alleged ethnic cleansing. Salami trying to indict our client at all costs, Magu's lawyers cries out, and Reps Gazette, water resources bill for reintroduction. I look at the chart just under the big rubric here. Mixed performance trails national housing delivery as NHF grows 18%, non-compliance linger, and more retirees withdraw. And you can see that chart on there. To the side of this, NECO reschedules examinations, of course, because of the current situation with the EndSARS protests across Nigeria. And $1.5 billion plant. Nigeria will soon stop importing steel, Finance Minister says. In South Court to hear $2.556 billion, or rather billion pounds, Petro Union case tomorrow. A look at the Daily Trust now. EndSARS, too much anger, hunger in the land, says governors. Protests can hurt economy, should stop now, Lawan says. And those in streets against government, not anti-SARS anymore. Operation Crocodile Smile Times says 30 CSOs. And we're not targeting EndSARS protesters, says the Army. And you can see once again pictures from over the weekend, this time from Central Bank of Nigeria's headquarters in Abuja. This was yesterday. At the bottom of that, Aisha Buhari unveils Arewa Mufaka against insecurity. And the minister, hopeful $1.5 billion Kaduna plant will end steel imports. 82-year-old Kofa Wambai Teneri struggles against modern tide, and NECO reschedules examination over NSARS protests. At the top, IGP lists qualifications of SWAT personnel as training begins today. And no details as INEC plans to spend 40 billion naira in 2021. FG begins right of way for $7.2 billion Kano, Maradi Ibadan Kano rails. We move on now to the Daily Sun. Big headline here. Protesters plan total lockdown today. Mass action grounds Lagos, Abuja. Nigerians in diaspora compile SARS victims' names. Once again, a photo story showing a protest somewhere in Nigeria. To the bottom of that, Operation Crocodile Smile, Oyedepo, IPOB, YOV, ASCAB warn against use of force, and FG sets timeline to end importation of steel. Masob urges Obiano to raise another panel to probe Izu River killings. This on page 26. You can find that headline at the very top of the Daily Sun. And we move on now to the Daily Independence. Hashtag End SARS protest hijacked to destabilize Buhari government, says the federal government. Buhari meets National Assembly leadership as protesters remain adamant. Oyo creates platforms to report police brutality. Police SWAT operatives begin training today. Protesters dare military, commence camping in Abuja, and Afenifere, Adams, Junaid, others warn against using army. Army denies planned deployment of troops on protesters. More headlines on the Daily Independent. Ondo Deputy Governor Ajayi set to resign this week. Find that on page 28. And NCC constitutes committee to review framework for listening infracro. And NSARS protest. NECO reschedules 2020 SSCE computer exams. And indeed, that would be the last of the headlines that we have for you this morning. Join us inside the second hour again when we'll be bringing more for you. So if you missed any of what we had just now, you could still stay tuned. We've got more coming your way. So we'll do a break. We'll be right back. It's Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mazino Pio, alongside with Titi and, of course, Mr. Mike. We'll be back with you.
Yeah, there's a pothole there, a pothole there, potholes everywhere. We need to be extremely careful with how we manage our movement these days. And, of course, how traffic has been building is very unique in the past 1 week. But that's why we're here. We're here to try our best to ensure that you get to your intended destination safe and sound. Now, we're going to be starting our journey from Ojodu Bega area of Lagos. Now, it does seem like there is a little bit of a gridlock there. I'm not sure what could be causing it, but it does seem to be quite tight. If you're heading into Lagos from Ojodu Bega, that whole junction just seems to have something slow going on. So just take your time, maybe a 10-minute delay, and you'll be out of there soon enough. But sadly, you will enter another gridlock once you get to around Alausa, the junction that links you to CMD Road, where the overhead bridge at Secretariat basically joins CMD Road to Secretariat. That has been a hotspot for the past 1 week, and it is already building up. There is traffic there already. So if you have an alternative route you can find, I would suggest you take it. If you do detour and decide to take into Alausa Secretariat for any reason, you're going to be adding another 35 minutes to your journey if you're trying to get to Third Mainland. So I would suggest, you not take that particular alternative route. We're going to be heading all the way past Alausa, heading all the way to Third Mainland Bridge. You have it home free until you get to Ojota. Slow down just a little bit more, speed up again, hit the bridge, and it is fine. You'll be on the bridge with no hindrances until you get to Ibutemeta turnoff. And of course, because of the construction that's happening on Third Mainland Bridge, you will have some delays right there. It'll take you a bit of time, but all in all, the most troubling traffic is at Ring Road. Once you come off the Third Mainland Bridge, Ring Road will stop you for quite a bit. All in all, a 1 hour, 35-minute journey if you are coming from Bega and heading to Victoria Island this morning. So it does seem like it's going to be quite a journey for a lot of people today. And I'm hoping this information is going to help someone make better plans. I'm not sure if any of the guys have any tweets that we should be aware of.
Well, you should be sure, but not tweets necessarily, but just a reference to the general lack of wanting to leave home from areas at the outskirts of Lagos, the Amur, Duffy, Ojo areas, Isola, and all of that. So the traffic situation is very unusual there. There's no traffic, it would seem, and of course there's an early traffic situation coming from Ajah and the rest. I think people trying to beat the protests that might be happening at the toll gate today. There is a slight lock at the marina, just the CMS area, but it's a very short one. Basically, very unusual traffic, but not too bad from the outskirts, Ajah or Amur Duffy or all of that. So if you're going to head out, already be on your way. I think it's going to be okay for you if this is your route.
So I think yesterday the Minister of Works, Babatunde Rajafashola, announced that Eko Bridge and I think which other bridge now? The other bridge that was locked is Marina Bridge. They will be open from today.
Okay.
So but I don't know if it's the Eko Bridge, the one.
There's Eko Bridge, then there's that's
Carter. Is it Carter?
Yeah.
Well, two of them were locked, and for repairs,
they
were repairing so many things at the same time. But yesterday I saw this announcement that they'll be open. Of course, many other things made that not so prominent. So maybe let's hope that traffic will be eased up with that one.
Wow. It does feel like if all the bridges are closed, why are we leaving home?
We'll enter
we
boats.
should just stay. We should just stay home. But yes,
it's not a holiday.
No, definitely. Waterways are a big thing.
Yes, so waterways are an option for those who would choose to take them. But I'm going to wrap it up on the traffic update in a bit, just giving you a little update on what's happening around Ajah. Ajah does seem to be a bit slow for some reason, not sure why. Abraham Adesoya all the way down to Ajah seems to be blocked already. I think people, as you said earlier, Mazino, are trying to rush out before the toll gate gets blocked. Now, I'm not sure if the toll gate, the phase 1 toll gate has even opened at all in the past few days. I'm not sure if it has myself, but a lot of people are taking the Ikoyi toll if they have the tag. Now, I'm going to be heading into the kitchen, guys. There's quite a lot to talk about, right?
Yeah, indeed, quite a lot. Mike, about what you said about the waterways being a very, in fact, I think if we had all of that infrastructure in place already, we wouldn't have the issues that we're having around traffic currently. Whatever wants to happen on land should happen on land. But if we had a very, concrete system over the waterways.
Forget the economics. For the economics, Lagos is doing well as a metropolis. But then you know that a metro system has to be excellent or at least above average for you to have a metropolis. That's something that we need to, our transport system, transportation, that's one very big thing in any city, any world-class city.
Titi, you're welcome back.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so tell us about Friday evening, because you had so much fun.
Friday
They invited you and didn't invite us. It's okay.
Yes. Before we talk about Friday, we have to say a big shout out to our girl, the amazing MM Okoche. Happy birthday, MM. Mwah, 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 mwah. We love you.
God loves you most.
Wow. Wow, Mike. You know we love you.
I'm sure it's going to be a big day at your house.
It will. But as you said in Ikorodu, where are we going to go there now?
Don't worry.
What to use a helicopter or something, or we use waterways or something, right?
Back to the awards for Friday, however.
Yes. We're definitely going to be coming for pepper soup on that one eventually.
We will.
But on Friday, TVC won 4 awards at the Marketing Edge Awards.
Fantastic.
Congratulations to everyone at TVC. So we won TV Station of the Year. We also, Max FM won Best Young Radio Station.
Oh.
Then
That's young. Oh,
yeah,
I
young
like the way
radio
that
station.
sounds.
Yeah, then our CEO picked up an award and our commercial director also picked up an
That's
award.
fantastic.
So, yeah, it was a big win.
We're doing well.
Yes, sir. And a lot of kudos to everyone on all the teams working really hard to make that happen.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was a good start to the weekend, I bet, for everybody here. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you.
To you too.
Thank you very much. Thank you. By the way, something that I found very interesting over the weekend was that picture from the Sars protest of people who aligned their bodies, an aerial view of an Sars, what do you call them now?
I'm not sure what they call them
but
now.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And one thing to note was the fact that our own chef, Chef Natido, was also part of the buddies that made that. He was in amongst the people. It was a beautiful thing to see. The movement is is gathering steam and it's getting some results and all of that. It's still going on, apparently, and the people in authorities have the ears of the young people finally. And we're hoping that this will lead to some major change, if not today, tomorrow.
That's prayer from everybody. Because one thing was a lot of us that we turned out our protest expecting to watch Premier League didn't happen, which is good. It could have, there's always the chance of distracting us from the agitation.
I think the new slogan now is focus.
Yes, that is
there's a lot of talk about focusing on what the prize is, and not being distracted by what's happening or other movements that are trying to join in.
And then exactly, and then over the weekend, one very big thing was that we've heard stories and stories. Man, there's no other option. Something has to happen. We've heard stories. People are coming out. Some of them with receipts, and then some with those. There are those that the majority of them, it wasn't on video. They had no, and all of that. It's no. So yes, this is something that it has to bring results. There's been nothing like this in our lifetime. Maybe for those that were involved in '93, I was still a kid. I was so much younger then. But this one that we involved and all that, we expected. And then the hijacking, that came up also. The hijacking and all of that. Look, to any other group, you see the thing about this thing. When there are too many, you made mention of focus. We can't be agitating for too many things at the same time. The LGBTQ plus community, whatever community, you get to your turn. Let's start somewhere, get something done, and then move on. But if we push and spread the net,
all agendas at once,
too many, it's going to be a problem.
It's just going to collapse.
And the truth is, there's so much that people are fighting for, and they've seen a little window, and I'm saying a little window.
And they want to take advantage of that window.
So you can't really blame them for wanting to, because it feels like the first time everyone is coming together.
Irrespective of religion, tribe,
everything, preference.
And for it to have gone on for so many days, without people letting go of the issue is also very, very key. A lot of people are saying, don't give up, keep going, keep pushing. But there is that mindset of how long can they keep it up? How long can they keep it up for?
A lot of people will say for as long as it takes
to get the results that we're looking for. And there's also the very, very inspiring picture which came up Friday afternoon. Of
Muslims, a lot of pictures, Mike.
Muslims who were praying, and Christians or whatever stood by and watched them pray and all of that. It was beautiful to watch. You see, I've always said that. See, look, it's unity in diversity. No matter where you are from, look, allow people to practice whatever religion they want to. The point is, if it's good for God, if it's good for man, if you're not hurting anybody, allow them practice what they want to practice.
Just let it be.
And so it was beautiful too. It was beautiful. I mean, what we're saying is that, look, forget this generation. The ones before us, maybe most of us, that we divide ourselves along the lines of tribe and religion. The next generation coming now, no, it's not going to happen. No. They are not the ones that are born with, because most of them, they've schooled in places where there's that type. I mean, they've gone to schools where they interact with people of other religions. They find a common ground. Religion will not tear them apart.
True.
And that's it. We will not tear them apart.
Stories that were related over the weekend. People from different backgrounds, people from different preferences, looking at the diversity of the kinds of people that have had experiences with SARS actually is quite a sight to see. One thing I also wanted to mention, and I'm going to try and bridge it with this, is the fact that two young men, two very unlikely young Nigerians over the weekend, I think since Friday, have been making the news. And I'm talking about Shola Akinlade and also Ezra Olubi. They were the owners, or are the owners of Paystack. But they sold their company to Stripe for $200 million. That's 76 what?
78 billion, I think.
I didn't write it down because I was too scared to write it. But the way I'm getting at is, when you see, if anybody was to see these guys on any given day, the first thing that would come, or the first narrative, stereotype, that's them. The first narrative that will come to mind is Yahoo Boys.
Exactly.
You get it, you get the idea. But we're celebrating these guys because this is what we want to see as an African country, and Nigeria as a whole. This is the kind of thing we want to push for the international community to see, that we have great, fantastic minds, And even within us, we should not start seeing our preferences for clothing or dressing or whatever it is as something to victimize people for.
These boys, they just sold our country. That is equal to Neymar. That's transfer fee of Neymar. So
Mike, if I tell you these guys' ages, you will feel so bad for them.
They went to Babcock University. They started, they came out as a startup and they started sourcing for funds and they approached Stripe.
Yeah.
For,
as
an accelerator.
They fashioned their business after Stripe.
Exactly.
And plenty of people were like, hey, maybe you should meet Stripe. And they're like, you know what, let's do it. And then boom.
Yeah.
I mean,
even when they were pushing
for
it, they called it a Stripe for Africa.
Fantastic. Congratulations to them, man. This is it's a big deal.
It is a very big one. Big shout out to all those in the tech sector.
Yeah.
You're with a laptop, you're on an iPhone, you're on an Android phone, you are not everybody. There are some. NSAS is not for you Yahoo boys. We'll come to you. It's not, you are too happy.
I'll focus.
It's not about you, right? But hey, come on, we'll kick off later after the break on Tech Note.
So do stay tuned. We've got tech coming your way. It's going to be very interesting. Fantastic conversation this morning. We've got more. It's only the first hour. It's Wake Up Nigeria, and we will be right back. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
We also have an app available for download for both Android and iOS. This app allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, and we'd like to remind you once again to subscribe to our YouTube channel. TVC Entertainment is what to look out for. You can find everything on there.
Now, not to worry, we're going to have an amazing chef pop in very, very soon. And once she gets here, you'll know why we're so excited about this particular chef. But we also have a spoken word artist coming your way as well. Toby Tone promotes consciousness and positive art with a unique display of versatility, and his melodious voice and rhymes will be on display very shortly.
For a musical performance, Nigerian-born soul singer Adedibo will be serenading us with his very, very beautiful song.
Luatoyin Deborah Oyesoya is the CEO of Royal Hugs Empire Surprises. I love the name, Royal Hugs Empire Surprises. We're going to be finding out how she runs that business, and that's what we're all about on SME segment this Monday.
Indeed, looks like Royal Hugs already.
It does.
I'm very curious about certain things. After I noticed a couple of trends this weekend, the fact that Afrobeat has come big back onto the scene, only because of what we're experiencing currently, the protests and everything. I'm not talking about Afrobeats now. I'm talking about Afrobeat, the real fella, Femi Kuti, Seun Kuti. It's big. Everybody seems to be pumping these in their cars or even at home. I've always liked it. It never changed for me. I never stopped listening to it.
It's the kind of sound that doesn't get old.
It's, what's the word? It's conscious. And I think since we are in a conscious period now in our lives, but Mike is still playing that. So, Mike, what was that your song you were playing since last 2 weeks? Are you still playing the same one, or have you switched to Afrobeat?
Which one? Well, if it's Afrobeat, I think the last one that I felt was Burna Boy's Time Flies.
But I like to think those are Afro beats. You know, there's a difference.
There's Afro beat.
There's Afro beat, which is the Puritan
you radio people used to take
sound.
it too far. Afrobeat is anything our artists sing for us that are not on radio. But if you want to make Afrobeat, Afro sound, Afro...
Afro
but
beats,
hey,
Burna Boy and everything, I believe that it's even bigger than what... Well, check this out. Jerusalem.
Yes.
Remember that track?
That song.
Do you know it is the second most Shazammed track in the entire world?
Second most.
Second most. I can't remember what the first one was.
So Shazam is the app where you just open up the app and then you use it to find out the name of a track and the artist and everything. And for you to search a song, it means that sound hits you so bad that you just wanted to know who sang it.
Exactly.
You know, but it takes a lot for you to pick up your phone. Like, I need that song, I need it. So it is important for us to mention that, because there are some songs that come up and you're like, yeah, it's nice, but you just, you let it slide. You just let it go. Great info there.
But talking about Afrobeat and the songs, big shout out, of course, to Davido and Wizkid, who have been doing quite a lot when it comes to the protest and all of that.
Yeah.
Burna Boy has caught some flack, we'll talk about that. I feel like Burna Boy is someone that I feel like he expresses himself mostly via his songs. There's an interview I listened to him, and I was like, is this the Burna Boy that's been singing this thing? But I think it's his songs where he puts in all of himself, or he puts in his message across. When you're talking to him, you'll be like, they look like two different people. But hey, like you said, big shout out to what Afro beat, Afro music, Afro sound is doing around the world.
Tell you what now, Mike, you're ready for the news, are you?
Definitely. Now, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has sought the cooperation of Nigerians in the ongoing development drive for a new and reformed Nigeria police force, and enjoined them to be patient and to believe in the reform processes, which are all directed at ensuring the security, safety, and rights of all. He said the training of the selected officers for the new police tactical team, special weapons and tactics team, SWAT, would commence today, Monday, 19th of October 2020. The IGP noted that no ex-Sars operatives were shortlisted in the SWAT team. Adamu also explained that the officers selected for the training are young, smart and energetic officers who have acquired not less than 7 years working experience with clean service records, no pending disciplinary matters, no record of violation of rights of citizens or misuse of firearms, and are physically fit to withstand the rigor of SWAT training and operations. Now, I quote, the selected officers shall be subjected to physical fitness tests, medical and toxicology screening, etc., and those found to be unsuitable shall be discharged, end of quote. The IGP promised Nigerians that the SWAT team will operate within very high professional and ethical standards, rule of law, and dictates of best international policing practices. In Jos, protesters held a prayer walk which began at about 3 p.m. yesterday and lasted for over 3 hours. The youths walked from the Jos Old Airport roundabout to Secretariat Junction before returning to their convergence point, where they prayed for an end to police brutality and the birth of a new Nigeria. Now, some youths in Akure also organized a special session tagged Akure Prayer Walk. The youths walked through major streets of Akure to offer prayers for the development of the country. They say though protests are being held across the nation, it is very vital to also pray and seek the face of God on the way forward for the nation.
It is time. We will do protest, we will do prayer work. As people are protesting, we are joining it with prayer, calling on God that it is turn and the time of the glory of our country to appear. So this is what we are actually doing today, calling the youth all around the Ondo State. They
come out to pray for the country as a whole, because I definitely know everyone in the country wants a change. And we can't leave out the place of prayer. That's all.
And Sars protesters who have been out on the streets for 11 days now have taken advocacy to another level through the launch of an online radio. The channel called Sorosoke plays songs calling for a reformed Nigeria. Programs and live reports of missing and found and Sars protesters are also being transmitted on the radio. Sorosoke is a Yoruba term which means speak up. It is also a metaphor for all Nigerians to speak up against bad governance and resist corrupt leaders. The channel, through effective and timely communication, is expected to aid the coordination of #EndSARS protests nationwide. Meanwhile, Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun has set up a judicial panel of investigation on alleged cases of police brutalities against residents of the state. Retired Justice Solomon Olugbemi will head the panel. The governor also constituted a Special Security and Human Rights Committee and Human Rights Complaints Office with terms of reference on the committee's mandates. The committee is charged, amongst others, with the task of ensuring the protection of the rights of citizens by all security and law enforcement agencies, monitor the prosecution of any officer indicted by the Presidential Panel on Police Reforms, and entertain complaints of human rights violations from the state's Human Rights Complaints Office. That's it on news. Now let's take a look at the day's weather.
Let's do a second round for the headlines this morning with the dailies. And if you join me the first hour, well, we've got quite a lot for you. We'll be starting this morning, once again, with the Vanguard newspaper. Of course, today is October 19th, 2020. And the first big headline from off of the Vanguard: SARS stop Army's plant up. Crocodile smile. CSOs tell FG say military should remain in barracks till protests end. Kill protesters face International Criminal Court. ASCAB cautions Buhari, says it's ill-timed, could exacerbate citizens' distrust, lack of confidence in state institutions. Crocodile smile, not going after SARS protesters, says the Army, and Defense Minister warns protesters against undermining national security. And lots more riders on that headline. A look at the photo story here is one of the protests in Makurdi, Benue State from over the weekend. And right on top of the big headline, mixed performance trails national housing delivery as NHF grows 18%, non-compliance linger, and more retirees withdraw. And you can see the chat that depicts the stats for currently. NECO reschedules examination, this because of the protests that are going on. And $1.5 billion plant, Nigeria will soon stop importing steel, says the finance minister. South Court to hear £2.556 billion petrol union case tomorrow. And at the very top of the Vanguard, government committee to wholesale, not just police reforms, says Fayemi. Christian elders threaten to sue FG over alleged ethnic cleansing, and Salami trying to indict our clients at all cost. Magus lawyers cry out. Reps Gazette, Water Resources Bill for reintroduction. Let's move on swiftly now to the Daily Trust newspaper for today. SARS, big headline. Too much anger, hunger in the land, says the governors. Protests can hurt economy, should stop now, says Lawan. Those in streets against government, not anti-SARS anymore. Operation Crocodile smile ill-timed, says 30 CSOs, and we're not targeting SARS protesters, says the Army. And you can see another look, pictures from yesterday's protests, this time from Abuja in front of the central bank. Aisha Buhari unveils Arawa Mufarka against insecurity, and at the bottom of the Daily Trust, Minister hopeful $1.5 billion Kaduna plant will end steel imports. And 82-year-old Kofa Wambai Teneri struggles against modern tides. NECO reschedules examination over SARS protests. And at the top of the Daily Trust, IGP lists qualifications of SARS, or rather SWAT personnel, as training begins today. No details, as INEC plans to spend 40 billion naira in 2021. And finally, for the Daily Trust, FG begins right of way for $7.2 billion Kano Makurdi Ibadan Kano rails. We take a look at the Daily Sun now. Big rubrics here as Buhari, Lawan, Baja seek solution. Protesters plan total lockdown today. Mass action grounds Lagos, Abuja. Nigerians in diaspora compile SARS victims' names. And another look at another protest from over the weekend at a church service organized for them at the Lekki Tollgate, Lagos, just yesterday. Operation Crocodile Smile, Oyedepo, IPOB, YOV, and ASCAB warn against the use of force. Exercise not targeted at protesters, says Catholic bishop, justifies protests. FG sets timeline to end importation of steel, and Sarab goes to court, seeks court and salary allowances for Buhari and the National Assembly. At the very top, Masab urges Obiano to raise another panel to probe Izu river killings. And we move on to our final paper for this morning, and that's the Daily Independence. SARS protests hijacked to destabilize Buhari government, says the federal government. Buhari meets National Assembly leaders as protesters remain adamant. Oyo creates platform to report police brutality. Police SWAT operatives begin training today. Protesters dare military commence camping in Abuja. Afenifere Adams denied others warn against using army, and army denies planned development or rather deployment of troops on protesters. Once again, a look at that photo story from yesterday in Abuja, just in front of the CBN complex. And we've got, well, more, and I implore that you check these out from the dailies as you go about your day, maybe to get a good start.
Welcome to the kitchen right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Chef Mary J.
It's Mary.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, she's in charge, and of course, you know, she's from Kadin Support, the magical hands. The one that likes to do the native thingy.
You always have a way of getting me.
But it's the truth now. If you don't do your things from the scratch yourself, it's not yours.
Well, thank
Definitely
you,
not yours. Okay, so what's for breakfast today?
Okay, we're just going to do something very simple.
Okay.
It's not really your typical breakfast, but you can actually do something. Who knows? So I'll be making banga soup today.
Banga soup.
And as you know, I just like the Nigerian, African, you know, we mustn't always do the bread thing.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't have to be bread or
and all that. Yes,
goods.
you can just do something quite light with them,
right.
something different.
That's right.
Okay, so this morning I'll be making banga soup, and to make things very, very easy, I've already pre-done so many of the stuff.
Okay.
Like right here, I have my palm syrup.
Okay.
So it's just the normal palm nuts, wash it, boil it, extract, and that's just it. So that's what I did to get this. So the meats have been boiled.
Okay.
My cow leg is boiled. My, what do you call the name? My stockfish is sorted out.
There.
Okay, so the major ingredients here are really the orubebe stick.
Orubebe stick.
Yes,
Why is
I
it
really
called
don't even know
orubebe
what the
stick?
English name is. I really want to know what this thing's English name is. So someone needs to help me with
Maybe
that.
someone should help us.
Someone needs to help me with that. Someone needs to help me with that. Okay, so we have the benetete leaves, and basically it's very, very simple. It's just if you know your basics or you've already done the work, every other thing is just throw out, and that's
and then
about
it's
it.
good to go.
It's
Okay.
good to go. So we're going to be serving with starch.
Starch.
So
okay.
we are really in for something interesting this
Wow.
morning.
Wow. So you know how it is.
Yeah.
Banga with starch is always
Something-
always a delicacy.
Especially when the banga is hot.
Hell.
Don't go there. Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. Yes, let's not.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get started. What's the first thing?
Okay, so we're going to start with having our pot on fire.
Okay.
And 1 second, I need to get a spoon.
Okay. So banga and starch, we seem to be in luck these days, like big time luck these days.
It's actually a season
Yeah. Oh, is the season for the palm?
for palm
kernel?
nuts
Okay,
syrup.
okay. Oh, so it's easier to get some in the market. And all.
Yes.
Aha. There are some people who actually make this for sale.
Yes.
So you don't have to go through the stress of extracting this.
Yes, and some people like Kadin soup pots also have
We know.
already made soups in your supermarkets.
See, she already has some soups that you can just buy.
So from our Instagram page, you could just find out 1 or 2 outlets where you can get them.
What's your Instagram page?
Kadin soup pots.
Aha. So if you're trying to figure out how it is spelled, it's written on her apron right now, so you can get that from her. Okay, so
So
while
we're
we
going
wait
to,
for that to heat up, okay, you're going to
yes,
say
we're going to
something.
give it time to heat up.
Okay.
And it's coming right fast. And the next thing we're going to put is the orubebe stick, which gives it this native flavor.
Would you spell the orubebe?
O-R-U-B-E-B.
Because
Did I get that?
Because
Yeah,
I was
did.
thinking of the U, not the O, but let's go on. It's
No,
okay.
it's
I was beginning to think
O-R-U-B-E-B. Yeah, orubebe. Yeah,
B-E.
B-E, yes, there's a B-E, orubebe. So
what does it
please,
do?
it gives it that aroma and that taste and complements the banga spice. Okay, now, I don't know how to speak that language, but there are 2 particular spices that make the banga spice. But I'm sure the Iden pod is part of it. There's one they called E.T. Forget it. Just ask, when you get to the market, ask for banga spice.
Just for banga spice.
Ask for banga spice.
Aha, okay.
That's about. Unluckily, in the market, they already have it mixed and prepared, so you just need to get just the pack and, you know, and do what you have to do.
If I want to get the pack, I know I see the packs looking really tiny.
They tie them in bags.
Yes. So how many of those bags am I going to have to get to
like
make?
About, it depends on the quantity, how many serves, and it depends on how strong you want the aroma.
Okay.
In fact, that's the major thing. Some people like the aroma really strong, while some just don't. So if you want it's actually a you thing. What you want.
Okay. But how many can this amount of spices serve?
6.
6?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
So
6.
I just need to ask for the Urubebe stick.
The stick, okay, now this is reusable.
Oh, okay. Like how many times reusable?
It still depends on you. As you're using it, you decide if, by the time it starts boiling, it extracts 1 or 2 stuff from it.
Okay.
You decide if I want to keep using it
Or you
I
want
don't
to
want.
ditch it?
Yes.
Okay. But is it very expensive? If I want to buy this in the market,
This
how
is
much will it
about
cost?
100 naira, depending on
100
the
naira.
market.
And it's reusable on top of
Yes,
it.
it's really highly
it's time to
reusable.
start putting banga soup in your menu at home, so you have reusable
Something
sticks like this.
reusable.
But is there a way I can go into some kind of bush and
Mary,
get this stick?
Find the English name.
I should find, what kind of chore is this now? I'm supposed to be your assistant.
Mary, find the English name. Okay, so the stick, you really need to,
Okay.
you need to
know
rinse
what?
it.
Okay, rinse it first, right?
Before you throw it into your
So we're throwing it in now?
Yes, we're throwing it
Okay,
in.
so we'll pause right there, okay? Because I know we have a lot to show you this morning as regards how Chef Mary Jane makes her own banga soup. Every chef has
It's
their
not
own.
my own, no, the general thing.
It is not the general thing.
The general
Every chef
thing.
has their own style of making this banga soup, as I've come to find. Right now, though, we are going to come straight to Titi and Mazino. I know you guys are on standby right now. What's going on?
We're wondering what Chef Mary Jane has up her sleeve, you know?
It's a very different way from the way I know how to make it, but you're doing good. You're doing well. Alrighty. Well,
It's coming to a boil there. It's bubbling, 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 bubbling.
Are we having it with starch or what are we having it with?
Oh,
I wonder.
I don't know. Chef Mary Jane always has something sweet to give us.
Oh, we've got more sweet things to give to you. Spoken word artist Toby Tones promotes consciousness and positive art with a unique display of versatility and great rhymes. His style is a blend of hip-hop and also poetry, joining a delicacy and accommodating character with abrupt switches of, beat and disposition. And hey, guess what? We have him in the studio with us right here. Hey, Toby, how you doing?
I'm good. Good morning.
Oh, good to have you here, man. First off, spoken word, I've tried in the past and I failed woefully. I think there is a sort of rhythm that goes with spoken word that I'm unable to get. Did I get it?
No.
You're trying.
I'm trying. But you're good at this. What inspires your spoken word?
Basically everything that happens around. So I make conscious art, rap music, and poetry. So, consciousness of everything that's happening around with me and people around me.
Okay.
So, Toby, what is the title of the piece you're giving us today?
So it is untitled, but it is about what's happening in Nigeria today.
All right.
Okay.
And I think it's a very key period to be sharing this particular message. And we're going to let you take the floor right now.
All right, Toby, you go. You're on, Toby. All right.
I write this poem respecting of the ones lost, of awakening dreams put to bed, of conversations that began with questions and ended with bullet holes in the head. I write this poem with the realization that we spent years blaming the whites for invasion and westernized civilization, but I spent the next 60 years harboring Nigerian political crimes. I write this poem heavy because I will not wait. I will not cower in fear. My voice will travel like eagles through the celestial bodies, glide through fogs and across planets, knock on the gates of heaven, remind God that we are a people seeking a difference. I will raise my voice again. It will travel back like rain from the belly of the clouds. It will cause an earthquake, a trembling in the camp of the enemy. I will not be tired, because I will remember Jimo, his innocence. I will remember the pain as they carried his lifeless body away from the same injustice we protest against. I will remember that it could have been me. Next to hundreds of bodies as Chijioke's father searched for his son, one hand seeking for peace, the other clamoring for hope. I will remember the stories as they reverberate through the skies, never to forget that you failed us. We forgot what leadership meant. We approached you with groanings, you came at us with guns. We asked questions, you responded with bullets. We knocked and you had the guts to be silent. We will remember, along with generations to come, that you killed Jimo, Slick, Ayomide, Peter, Chika, Kolade, Chibuike, and many others murdered. We will never forget that you were silent. The government, media, private organizations, religious leaders, parents, because silence is a synonym of truth. So on every bullet has your name, your face, and every drop of their blood resounds your heartless response from today until the fading of the last seconds of time. To those who call us criminals, we are not. We are the generation of entrepreneurs, creatives, strategists, great thinkers, and world changers. We are the generation that knows that you do not pursue a cyber criminal on roads, but on the net. You don't run a flawless system to combat corruption offline, but on the web, and yet can spend 10 million naira to achieve what you intend with 1.6 billion naira of national funds. We know that you do not care. Yet we come to you in peace again and again until you have no sleep. And our voices creep into every corner of your dreams until you break. We will not take a break. We will echo our pain to the ends of the earth because you will listen. A peace shall become to you a foreign language, one as though never spoken before. Your hearts will beat like electronic music until you hit to our cry. I join my voice with the hundreds of thousands across all states in Nigeria. Sars must end. Police reform must commence. 29 million naira monthly has no basis in a society like ours, and it must be broken. We deserve true democracy. We deserve a system that isn't littered with corruption. We deserve quality, progressive education. We deserve good roads, adequate physical and IT-trained security. We deserve electricity. We deserve opportunity. And SARS, and SWAT. We have only just begun. Thank you.
No words, Toby.
Wow.
Tell you what we're gonna do. Let's just let that sink in. Fantastic job. Think about it, people. We'll be back.
Welcome again. Cooking going on in the kitchen with Chef Mary Jane of Kadin Support. Delicious is all I can say this morning. As you can see on your screen, the pot of banga soup is just boiling. Really looking good, like we are ready to dig in. So far, so good, Chef Mary Jane. What have we done? Okay, so we added, we had the palm nuts, or rather the palm nut syrup on fire. We added Doru Bebe sticks. So I had already pre-boiled the meats. Of course, busy mom apparently would have to get some things done. Yes, you have to make it ready, then just freeze it. And just get some things done. Yeah. So I had the meat, I have the stockfish in here, I have the cow leg in here. Okay. So what I was doing before we got back was I was washing the fish with warm water to remove possible oils and dirts and all that, which I've just done. This water is quite warm, so I'll just rinse off the water. So that stick is going to stay throughout or just for a few minutes? Yes, it's going to stay throughout. So you are serving? Yes, but you don't serve with it. Okay, so when you're about to serve, you take it out, or when you finish serving is when you take it out? Anytime, I'm just not going to serve it. Okay, so we've removed, I'm going to put in the fish now. That's the stockfish? No, the stockfish is in there already. Yes, this is the dry fish. Dry fish, okay. Yes. So we're going to give it some time to cook. Okay. Because we want it to get a bit soft. Okay. And we also need to watch out for the consistency because it's meant to be both light, in between light and thick. Okay. So that it goes down well. So it has to have that medium feel. Yes, not the consistency, not watery, not thick. Yes. Okay. So here we are. Okay. All right, so what next? What are we doing now? Okay. If you check your screen right now, you'd see the ingredients for banga soup, all right? So if you missed out on earlier when we were talking about what we will be making use of, you might just want to catch up, scribble it down now, and get on with us. Those are the ingredients for making Chef Mary Jane's Cardin soup pot banga soup. you heard what Mazino said. Mazino talked about the fact that this is a new way for him.
Well,
every
that's
chef
just
has
because
their
I
style.
took off the protocol. Usually is not that easy to make banga soup because a lot of people run away from the process. How many people really want to pound, extract? So many people just don't, but they love the soup, but they just can't go through the process. So what you could do is just get already processed syrup, or just can buy it from the shop.
You know, when you mentioned protocol, I remember that just last weekend, you were also at the protest.
Oh my
serving
God, Mary,
food.
you didn't need to do that.
Did you make the food, or it was a case of volunteers coming together?
I just called 2-3 friends. I was able to raise some money in a short period, and we decided, okay, there are these people that are making sure this thing is working. So we decided we're going to feed the volunteer cleaners. Man, you need to see this volunteer. Mary is just like me and you.
Volunteer cleaners, not everybody. Oh,
no. We did the volunteer cleaners, the security men, because these guys make sure that things are going the right way. And we, yes, the volunteer cleaners, and we had about 150 of them that were able to catch because they were just everywhere. Everywhere was so clean. The energy, everything was wow. And I was really glad we did, and I'm looking forward to
commendable.
doing some more.
If I was one of the volunteer cleaners and you were serving banga soup, I'll turn up every day.
Okay. Mary.
And talking about turning up, I know for sure that Mike is on standby with some Monday motivation. Hi, Mike.
Yeah, you're... Okay, all right, I know there's quite some activity going on there. We'll get to meet up with them and see how far they've gone later on. Now, of course, we have Monday Motivation, one of Nigeria's leading business and leadership coach, Tess Aromesule. Now, she's passionate about changing the narrative by helping companies enter new markets and also build networks. Today, we're going to be talking about making every day a little better. Hello, Tess. Good morning.
Hi, how are you today?
I am good. And you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. So we're talking about making every day a little better, all right?
Yes.
Okay, let's get straight to it. How do we make our days better than they already are? Because I personally need this one. So you're going to be talking to me directly and a lot of other people. So how do we go about all of that?
All right, so predominantly as human beings, we're driven by voices. And when I say voices, it may not be the audible one like I'm talking to you right now, but there are external and internal voices. External voices would be voices like things we see on the TV, things we listen to on the radio, things that are coming through our various senses, our eyes, our ears, and those things form the information of our core. And then those are the external voices. And then we have the internal voices, which is the voice of your conscience, the voice of your mind, the voice of your spirit. And if you are a spiritual person, so things like the voice of the Holy Spirit, sometimes as we describe it, or the voice of the Spirit of God, or the spirit of whatever it is that you believe in that is speaking to you. So you see, we're driven by voices, the external one, which I just explained, and the internal one. Now, these voices come together in this person called you, and it forms your response to issues. It forms the way you react to issues. Now, the ability for you to turn that from a negative to a positive is what determines how good or bad your day is. So the key thing that differentiates you from having a good or a bad day is that word called the filter. So the external voice is coming at you. The internal voice is coming from within as well. The thing that makes it good or bad a day is the filter that you are able to apply. So many of us have different ways of filtering our thoughts. Many of us have different ways or styles of filtering. For me, for instance, is I begin to look at, I have trained my mind to begin to see things that have the likelihood to want to toy with my emotional stability or my mental stability. And when I see those things, before they even present themselves, when I see traits of them, I flee. Because I know it has taken me years to get to this level of emotional balance. And so when a day is starting and I see that, you know, the way the first activity, second activity, my reaction, and the way things are panning out, or the way things are just happening, is not really in line with how I've planned it, or things are just happening to me, I sit back and I try to do a mental calculation. Is this something that is within my control? If it's not something within my control, can I do anything about it? If I can't do anything about it, people who know me know that I have a filing system in my mind. I file it away. It may not be as easy as just going away right there at that point, but you have to train your mind to be able to file things, or just put them in a section of your mind that is called unimportant or not urgent. Just file it and just put it away. So the ability for you to have a good or a bad day actually is up to you. I've been to an office before where I went to see someone, and right there on his table, he wrote it plainly, and paraphrasing now because I can't remember the exact words, something to the tune of that, whether you're having a good or a bad day is none of my problem, but don't bring any of that energy into me because I am having a good day no matter what. That's a state of mind. That's a positive state of mind that that person has trained he or herself to be in.
Right, now you just spoke about things that we hear, and you spoke about the filter, yes. Now, how about things that happen to you? Circumstances or events, things that happen to you, say bereavement, say, you know, some form of, you know, calamity. Now, these ones are not just what you hear, these are ones that happen to you. How does one react in such situations where you're trying to make your day better?
I mean, things like grief, things that have to do with deep emotions like that, there are no two ways. Everything has a process, everything has a circle. You have to just live through that circle. So I'm not a grief counselor, but one thing I know is that things that have deep emotional roots like that actually go through a circle. And it is still the same thing that you're going to apply, your reaction to it. So I know that in our neck of the wood, we're taught to be strong, we're taught to be really resilient, in fact, overboard to an extent. But when something demands or requires, for instance, for you to cry, cry. By all means, cry. If something demands a certain reaction from you, like even an outburst, by all means, give that outburst, because at the end of the day, in as much as we try to file things as whether negative or positive, we're still humans and we're still going to feel all those emotions. It is when those emotions begin to drive us on a downhill that we now begin to worry, and we begin to talk to experts in that line to help us come back uphill, or at least come out of the dark, you know, the dark vacuum that we're spiraling into. So be it a calamity, and I know that a lot of people, because of this pandemic and because of the way their businesses are going, or maybe because the way their lives have been turned upside down, different from what they had planned, are actually going through a lot of emotional turmoil. But like we said like 2 weeks ago, you have to take charge to see now what your current reality is versus the blueprints you had for this year. And based on your current reality, begin to make actionable plans that you'll be able to work on. Because we like it or not, as long as we live on this earth, there will be things that will still thwart or be in the way of our blueprint that we have drawn for our lives. It could be a loss of a loved one. It could be, you know, economic downturn. It could be different things that will come at us. But we have to begin to learn to train our minds in such a way that, yes, when it comes, we give it the natural reaction. And, you know, just try to find the silver lining in the dark clouds that befall us sometimes.
You mentioned silver lining in the dark clouds and all of that. What is the place of, you know, people, a lot of these things that happen, people tend to withdraw to themselves at that point in time, where, especially when there's grief and all of that, emotional trauma and all of that. People tend to withdraw, people tend to be on their own and all of that. How much is
an aura, maybe getting out to see other people. People talk about maybe having to talk to people about it if you have quite an issue. And there's people who tell you that, look, hey, come on, when you talk about stuff, it goes and makes the news and all of that. What place do you think it has talking to people about such situations?
Okay, so in something that is called the Wheel of Life, coaches and psychologists around the world, they have come, we have something that is called the Wheel of Life, and those are like the different aspects of your life that you have to keep in check, because you never know, you want that wheel to be a balanced wheel, such that, imagine yourself riding a bicycle.
As well at TVC Connect. Send in the comments that you might have for us using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We'd love to read your comments.
Yes, we do. Now, the TVC app is available for you to download for both Android and iOS. So it enables you to watch this award-winning TV station from anywhere in the world.
And we'll like to remind you once again to subscribe to our YouTube channel, tvcentertainment.tv. Now, let's check out what we have left on the show these final 45 minutes. For a musical performance, Nigerian-born soul singer Adedipo would be serenading us with his beautiful songs right here.
Oluwatoyin Deborah Oyesonya is the CEO of Royal Hugs Empire Surprises. Alrighty then. Hey girl, how's it in that kitchen this morning?
Not bad at all. You know when you're having Uncle's native food,
His
ears are always there.
Here's
his
the
nose
thing.
is there.
The last time we had something native to my land, Mary almost chopped up my head. So I'm going to respect myself. I'm not going to be trying it. No matter how I am tempted. I am tempted. Chef Mary makes a mean dish, but I'm not going to try because Mary is going to chop off my head again.
I will not. I'll be a nice person today.
You're never nice, Mary.
Sometimes I'm not.
I think Mike, you're gonna taste the food today now, aren't you, Mike?
Well, you guys tasted it the other day.
Three of you need to focus. The key word here is hashtag
Focus. I have to say, those focus memes are amazing.
Focus.
Yeah. Hey, Chef Mary is fantastic at what she does.
Yes,
Her method is very different. Oh, that's the starch coming through now, isn't it?
That's the starch.
Wow.
Let's do this. Before you say Jack Robinson, it's already.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I saw one of those memes. You know, there are, you know, I mentioned last week that there were some young ladies checking out the gentlemen at the protest.
Oh, this time it's the other way around.
It was the other way around. And then there was a guy, there's a guy that's been going around.
Yeah. His theme is focus.
Focus. He keeps, you know, knocking guys back into focus.
He's blocking guys up and down.
Yes.
If you're distracted, he just, you know, does something to make you
focus.
realign.
Talking about focus, I know most people would say don't bow to pressure, but it's time for employers to start thinking of making their staff work from home again, like the lockdown. We need to be very realistic. There are going to be serious roadblocks, and the earlier employers start organizing things, the better, because there's going to be a lot of traffic. In my neighborhood, traffic starts from like 5:30, 6. But this morning, the traffic was almost as if it was like 6:37.
Yeah, we spoke about that during traffic. Everybody's trying to get ahead.
Everybody's trying to get to their destination before the protest starts, because most of the protests are starting at 7 a.m. today. So everyone is trying to be careful. But we also need to keep in mind that as the protests are going on, life has to go on for those who have to work. And so it's important for employers to work things out, because most employees want to even join the protest.
Yeah, well, tell you what, I bet we'll be hearing more about the protests inside the news. So let's let Mike take it away.
Now, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has sought the cooperation of Nigerians in the ongoing development drive for a new and reformed Nigeria Police Force, and enjoined them to be patient and to believe in the reform processes, which are all directed at ensuring the security, safety and rights of all. He said that the training of selected officers for the new police tactical team, SWAT, will commence today, Monday, 19th of October. The IGP noted that no ex-Sars operatives were shortlisted in the SWAT team. He also explained that the officers selected for the training are young, smart and energetic officers who have acquired not less than 7 years working experience with clean service records, no pending disciplinary matters, no record of violation of rights of citizens or misuse of firearms, and are physically fit to withstand the rigor of SWAT training and operations. The selected officers shall be subjected to physical fitness tests, medical and toxicology screening, etc., and those found to be unsuitable shall be discharged. The IGP promised Nigerians that the SWAT team will operate within very high professional and ethical standards, rule of law, and dictates of best international policing practices. In Jos, protesters held a prayer walk which began at about 3 p.m. yesterday and lasted for over 3 hours. The youths walked from Jos Old Airport roundabout to Secretariat Junction before returning to their convergence point, where they prayed for an end to police brutality and the birth of a new Nigeria. Now, some youths in Akure also organized a special session tagged Akure Prayer Walk. The youths walked through major streets of Akure to offer prayers for the development of the country. They say though protests are being held across the nation, it is very vital to also pray and seek the face of God on the way forward for the nation. Now, the NSAS protesters who have been out on the streets for 11 days now have taken their advocacy to another level through the launch of an online radio. The channel, called Sorosoke, plays songs calling for a reformed Nigeria. Programs and live reports of missing and found #NSAS protesters are also being transmitted on the radio. Sorosoke is a Yoruba term which means speak up. It is also a metaphor for all Nigerians to speak up against bad governance and resist corrupt leaders. The channel, through effective and timely communication, is expected to aid the coordination of #NSAS protests nationwide. Meanwhile, the Ogun State Governor, Dr. Abiodun, has set up a judicial panel of investigation on alleged cases of police brutalities against residents of the state. Retired Justice Solomon Olugbemi will head the panel. The governor also constituted Special Security and Human Rights Committee and Human Rights Complaints Office with terms of reference on the committee's mandates. The committee is charged, amongst others, with the task of ensuring the protection of the rights of citizens by all security and law enforcement agencies, monitor the prosecution of any officer indicted by the Presidential Panel on Police Reforms, and entertain complaints of human rights violations from the state's Human Rights Complaints Office. Now, meanwhile, the Nigerian Army says Operation Crocodile Smile has nothing to do with the End Sars protest. In a statement released yesterday, Army spokesman Musa Osagere said it is wrong to say the exercise is targeted at protesters who are out in major cities. Now, he added that the Army has been professional since the protest started nearly 2 weeks ago. He said exercise Crocodile Smile is a yearly exercise in the Nigerian Army calendar, which traditionally holds from October to December of each year. And then on to education, the National Examination Council has rescheduled the Paper 1 Computer Studies practical examination in the ongoing senior school certificate examination earlier scheduled to take place today. A statement by the council explains that the rescheduling of the examination was due to the ongoing End Sars protests across major cities in the country, which has restricted movement. The new date for the examination is now 16th of November 2020. Let's take a look at the day's weather.
Welcome back.
Yes, indeed. All righty then. So today on This Week in History, we're going to be learning a thing or two.
Yes.
Very interesting stuff. So you guys should stick with us. Let's tell you what's special about This Week in History. Yeah. And I'm going to start, shall I?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. Thomas Edison. Yes. He perfects carbonized cotton filament light bulb. Now, that's a big way to say just the common light bulb in any case. October 21st, 1879, Thomas Edison, he perfected the first commercially practical incandescent light bulb using a filament of carbonized cotton thread. Now, his first attempt at this design resulted in a bulb that lasted about 13.5 hours before burning out. He later extends the life of the bulb to 40 hours. Edison's successful design came only after he had tested over 6,000 different vegetable fibers during a span of over 18 months, running 1,200 experiments and spending $40,000. Contrary to popular belief, by the way, he didn't invent the light bulb, but rather he improved upon a 50-year-old idea. But up to that time, nothing had been developed that was remotely practical for home use. Edison's eventual achievement was inventing not just an incandescent electric light, but also an electric lighting system that contained all the elements necessary to make the incandescent light practical, safe, and also economical.
You know, there's something powerful about this, and there's a movie that just came out with on it about how long it took for them to create the network for people to have electricity in their homes, from the major source of power to house to city, and it took them $40,000 to get it done.
Oh, interesting.
And $40,000 then, imagine.
Big, yeah, I can imagine. You should let our Nigerian authorities see that movie so that they can give us lights.
Now, moving a little closer to our time now, October 23rd, 2001, Apple released the iPod. Now, the iPod is a portable media player and also a multi-purpose pocket computer designed by and marketed by Apple Inc. Now, it was the first version. The first version was released about 8.5 months after the Macintosh version of iTunes was released. And as at July 27, 2017, only the iPod Touch remains in production. Now, the iPod line came from Apple's digital hub category, and when the company began creating software for the growing market of personal digital devices. Now, digital cameras, camcorders, organizers had been well established, but the company found existing digital music players big and clunky, or small and useless, with user interfaces that were unbelievably awful, so they decided to develop their own. Now, there have been 6 generations since then, and the iPod Nano is the smallest of them all, the first of which could hold 1,000 songs. That was 5 gigabytes. So you know how far they've come since the first iPod?
I've only ever had one iPod. Actually, no, 2. But the first one was memorable because I left it somewhere special and I couldn't go back to get it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You wanna know where?
Where?
Never mind. Don't leave it.
For most people that I know that owned one of the first or second generation of iPods, they're still working.
Yeah, they are very durable.
They're still working.
Absolutely.
The music still sounds fantastic.
Very selective, however, but they still work.
Yeah.
Moving on now, Skyfall. Ring a bell?
Yeah.
Yes. 23rd James Bond film directed by Sam Mendes, and starring Daniel Craig and Javier Bardem. Well, it premieres in London at this time. Now, Daniel Craig was, who plays Agent 007 for the third time in Skyfall, headed the list of celebrities appearing at London's Royal Albert Hall for the film's premiere, grossing over $1 billion worldwide, the first James Bond film to do so, by the way. Now, it became the highest grossing film in the UK, the highest grossing film in the series, and the highest grossing film worldwide for any Sony Pictures, an MGM movie, and the second highest grossing film on 2012. That's for 2012. Now, the film won several accolades, including 2 Academy Awards, 2 BAFTA Awards, and 2 Grammy Awards. And 3 years later on, the same date, the theme song performer, 2015, Adele releases a single, Hello. Remember that one?
Yeah, so she performed Skyfall, and then she released her song Hello.
And it became the first song to do more than 1 million downloads in its first week, 1.1 million to be exact. Now, Hello is a piano ballad rather. With soul influences and lyrics that discusses themes of nostalgia and regret. Upon release, the song was acclaimed by music critics who compared it to, I think, compared it to her previous tracks, albums. But this one far, far, far outweighed anything else. And hey, beautiful stuff. Congratulations to her. And I can't remember the last time I heard or played that track.
Really?
Because
Hello?
it was, the tracks like that, when they're so big, the minute they're out of circulation, you like forget about it. But this is a reminder. I'm definitely going to listen to it again on the show.
We have to. It's such a powerful song.
Oh, Tizzy,
there were
don't
so
sing.
many covers.
I know,
so
right?
Many covers of that
Even
song.
Nigerian ones. I tried mine. It was terrible. But Mary, I can hear you.
Yeah, beautiful song.
It's all good.
So, speaking of singing,
it's
about time we had some more music on the show today.
And we have Nigerian-born soul singer Adedipo. Now, he'll be serenading us with his song, 27. The song is about the many challenges of adulthood for young people. Tell me about it, please. Adedipo, it's fantastic having you here on set with us, and we can't wait for you to serenade us. We've been preaching this all morning. So, hey, let's just give you the floor, shall we?
Thank you. When we're young, we wanted to be grown. Now we're grown, wishing we were young so bad. When we're young, we wanted to be grown. Now we're grown, wishing we were young so bad. 27 and broke, 27 and woke, 27. My dreams are getting cold, nah. 27 and broke, 27 and woke, 27. My dreams are getting cold, nah. When we're young, we wanted to be grown. Now we're grown, wishing we were young so bad. When we're young, we wanted to be grown. Now we're grown, babe, wishing we were young so bad. 27 and broke, 27 and woke, 27. My dreams are getting cold, nah. 27 and broke, 27 and woke, 27. My dreams are getting cold, nah. I don't want them bills anymore, and I don't want them fees anymore. I just wanna sit back, relax, not a care in the world. Wanna feel alive once more, oh yeah. I don't want them bills anymore, and I don't want them fees anymore. I just wanna sit back, relax, not a care in the world. Wanna feel alive once more, oh yeah. I don't want them bills anymore, and I don't want them fees anymore. I just wanna sit back, relax, not a care in the world. Wanna feel alive once more, oh yeah. I don't want them bills anymore, and I don't want them fees anymore. I just wanna sit back, relax, not a care in the world. Wanna feel alive once more, oh. 27 27 and broke, 27 and woke, and 27. My dreams are getting cold, nah, nah. 27, 27 and broke, 27 and woke, and 27. My dreams are getting cold, nah, nah. When we're young, we wanted to be grown. Now we're grown, wishing we were young so bad. So bad, so bad.
That was beautiful. I'm listening to the words. When we were young, we wanted to be grown. Now we're grown, and all of a sudden, want to be young again.
Yes, so.
What you guys don't know is I and Titi have this running battle about age.
Wow.
He's always casting me with my age and everything.
He's always acting like he's younger than me, like I'm a mama, you know?
And I'm always telling her that you're old.
Yeah, no, you're older than me, Negro. But
Hey,
I have to
man.
say, Adedipo, a beautiful song. I love the flow.
Please, what inspired it? How old are you?
Well, I just clocked 28, but
28.
I wrote it when I was 27, actually.
Okay.
Wow, it's a beautiful song.
Deep.
Thank you.
Deep.
Thank you
Very
so
nice.
much.
What?
There was a point in that song that I was saying to myself that I wish I could jump on it. Yeah, there was actually
You
a point
can.
in the song that I was
You
like,
can.
okay, this is my music career calling to me.
Beautiful. But
Like,
Mary,
I could identify with the lyrics, you know,
Yeah.
how you don't want to grow old.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a beautiful song.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you so
Mary,
much. So
Mary,
good to
off
be
your
here.
mic. Stop jumping on the song. You are older than 27, please.
Wow.
Don't be. I know she will want to beat me. She's picking up her shoe right now, actually. But beautiful one. We loved it. We want to have you back on the show again. Tell you what, let's have a break because I need to go shake this gentleman's hand.
Yes, sir.
Or maybe give him a fist bump.
And maybe by 28, we'll be rich.
Ooh.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, over 28. What are you talking?
I'm talking about him. Him. This song's gonna make you rich.
And you're welcome back here on Wake Up Nigeria. So, Oluwatoyin Deborah Oyesanya is the CEO of Royal Hugs Empire Surprises. Now, she enjoys surprising people and putting smiles on celebrants' faces. She's rated as one of the best when it comes to putting a surprise together for clients. Now, let's dive into what makes it a successful business. And it's fantastic to have you here. Can I call you Debbie?
Of course.
Wow, first off, there was a debate on how beautiful you look. Let me just let you know, and you're looking so beautiful. For a Monday when everybody's like,
I know.
you look fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Royal Hugs Surprises. How exactly do you people create experiences for people?
So it depends on the occasion.
Okay.
Get well soon, it's your birthday, so it depends. That's what's going to determine the kind of gifts and atmosphere we bring to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been in this business?
This started in 2015, so this is the 5th year now, so 5 years.
Oh, fantastic. And do you think that this is a wholesome kind of business? Do you see it becoming an industry, let me ask, where other people, you can have great competition between Royal Hugs and Mazzinos celebrating whatever I want to call it?
Oh, yeah. That's
And
that
it's
already.
viable is my
Yeah,
question.
definitely. We
Now-
already have loads of competitors.
I want to ask exactly how you got inspired to start such a business, because there's not many of that around these days. It never has been. So what inspired you to begin Royal Hug Surprises?
It started 5 years ago.
Okay.
I was actually extremely depressed.
Aw.
Oh, I know. I didn't know where my life was heading, and someone sent me a cake, and really it was just a cake, but it felt like $1 billion, and it lifted my spirits. And I thought, if someone can make me this happy on my birthday, why not spread that love around? And
Oh.
yeah, that's how we
That's
started.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm almost crying here. But
That's how
listen,
we
yeah.
started.
So you make money off of it. So
Oh.
it is a real, genuine business.
Definitely.
Now, when you go about creating these experiences for
Mm-hmm.
people, what do you look out for? What do you have to spend to get that experience? And how much do you get paid for each experience?
So, like I said, it depends on the occasion.
Okay.
So, is it like a get well soon, or is it happy birthday or anniversary? So, it really depends on the kind of occasion. Like, I remember when Davido contacted us for Chima. That was just Valentine, just I love you. So, it could be anything, really. So, it depends on the occasion. That's what's going to determine the cost. But it's mostly birthdays because people celebrate birthdays every day.
Every single
Every
day.
day.
Now, there's a lot of people out there who are looking and thinking, now, this is a viable way to make an income. It's easy, it's simple, it's actually
easy.
being fun to it's an infectious way of, how do I put it? bringing joy to people just by
Right.
being happy yourself,
Right.
I can guess.
Right.
But in your case, did you have to invest so much to get started?
No, I didn't. That's
So
the good
what
part
do I
of
need
it.
to invest in if I wanted to join the industry?
So like I said, when I started, no one was really doing this.
Okay.
So it was a bit easy for me. So if you contacted me now, you wanted to surprise your mom, for example, and I say to you, this is X amount. Obviously, you have to.
How much is X?
X amount.
How much is X?
So it depends on the occasion, like I said.
And how big I want to make it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So with that, obviously, I don't need capital. You have to send me money first.
Okay.
And then with that, I get whatever you want. So really, you don't really need capital to start if you really want.
okay.
I started really small before I
So-
got the office, before, got the complaint car, before we expanded like that. But when we started, it was just...
So we live in interesting times where people have offices that are not tangible, offices on Instagram and Twitter and all of that.
Right.
Can I run such a business from a virtual office, such as
definitely
these social platforms?
Yeah, so like when I started, we didn't have any office at first. Yeah, so I'm just looking outside the bigger picture, like, because we render services, right? And you could do on the social media, but for me, it's deeper than that. So I want it to be a way where you can walk in and pick up a gift if you don't want to surprise anyone.
Okay.
You could just, because not everybody really likes it, because we go with saxophone and not everybody's into that noise and all. So you could just walk in, pick up a gift, pick up your balloons or whatever. But yeah. So that's the advantage of having a store or office or anything. But definitely you could go on social media, but just for people to trust you more and they're more comfortable with you. So yeah.
So how big is your endeavor? How many people do you provide employment for?
Ooh, okay, so for now we have 12 people for now, and most of them, they have to come to the office to work. Yeah.
All right. So you do have an office now,
yeah.
but you didn't begin with one.
Oh no.
Okay. Let's get downright practical now. Let's
Right.
say that this was a way that I wanted to make a living.
Right.
If I'm just living a job, maybe at the bank where I earned a certain amount, let's just say 200,000 naira, would I be able to break even if I had enough clients, let's say 3 clients per month or 4 clients per month? Would I be able to break even what it was I was earning back at the bank?
Depends on who your clientele is. For
How do
example,
I meet these
we've
clients?
surprised Dangote, for example. So it depends on
For
who,
real?
Yeah, for real.
Wow.
Yeah, so it depends on who your clients are. And then again, I won't just say jumping. You have to be passionate about it. I love making people happy genuinely. So it's not just about the money. So it's also important there's a bit of passion in it. If not, you get bored quickly and,
Okay.
yeah.
So the clients now, how can I go about meeting these clients? How can I show them how credible my service could be? What do I need to do? Networking, how?
Exactly. So for me, because we already have the name out there, so it's easier.
How did you begin without having your name out there?
I worked hard. So I was doing it for my friends and I was doing it for free because I genuinely enjoyed, because people didn't think this could be a business. Like, sometimes we go for them like, is this your job? So when I started, I just really wanted people to know we could make the world a better place.
Did you have to do it personally? Did you have to walk into an office to surprise somebody yourself?
Yeah, I was
But you don't play the
aggressive.
saxophone, do you?
No.
I'm
So when I
joking.
started, I didn't do all that, So I was really aggressive. I just wanted to put smiles on faces regardless. So yeah, so that was how I was able to, get the name out there.
All right,
Yeah.
fantastic. Royal Hug Surprises. So what's the big picture for Royal Hug Surprises?
Hopefully franchise. We have few people are interested in, taking it out there, because now so many people are doing it. So we have to stand out.
Reinvent, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. Well, I hope one day you get to surprise Trump. I'm hoping, but this is a fantastic way to actually, and if you're listening out there, if you're watching out there, I'm hoping that you're taking a few tips. First off, note that you can actually start virtually. Yeah. You don't absolutely have to have an office. You have to have a passion for it, like you said, and you genuinely have to enjoy making people happy.
Definitely.
Which is sort of like the business that I'm in, so I think I should be able to cut it, shouldn't I?
It'll be easy for you.
So I will be competing with you very soon. I might not have picked a name, but I'm sure that I will.
Right.
But it's fantastic having you on
Thank
the
you
show
for
here,
having
Debbie.
me.
And I'm hoping that I get to experience one of these experiences that
Fantastic
you actually
experience.
give to people.
Fantastic.
If you want to surprise me any day this week, it's fine.
Okay.
any day, choose any day you can surprise me.
Right.
I'm joking. But Debbie, thank you very much. Fantastic having you here. Is there anything you'd like people out there who are looking to go into this kind of business to note? If it's a challenge or if it's something that they should look out for, what might it be?
So it looks easy, but they need to understand nothing is easy.
Nothing is easy.
Yeah, because it looks fun. It's actually fun, you know, going to people's houses and boom, you know, with a band, but don't give up. You know, no one said it's going to be easy. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. When it gets tougher, that's when you should know you're about to break through. So don't give up.
Let's see your hands. There, she has hands. She's been tucking them under her legs for a while now. I just wanted everybody to see how beautiful that dress is. Thank you very much, Debbie. It's fantastic having you here on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And of course, hey, let's find out what's going on inside the kitchen. You're going to be joining us in the kitchen as well to taste at least. Let's see,
Come
Mary,
along,
what's happening in there?
Come along, Lenzino, come along.
You want me already?
Should I come? Should I wait?
Please.
It is ready.
Oh, can I bring my guest over as well?
Yes, of course.
Come on, look how beautiful she is. I mean, this is spectacular.
Please
here,
take
have a
seat.
seat.
Wow.
I'm just going to stay here.
Welcome.
Well,
Welcome to the kitchen. Chef Mary Jane of Cardin Support has made this breakfast for us this morning. It's actually a banga soup and starch, and she's made it with her own twist, and I'm sure you're going to like it. Please, you might want to wash your hands.
Yes, so.
Let me see how the inexperienced people do it.
No.
I'm not showing anybody how to do this anymore.
You need to go ahead and try it.
At least just try the soup. At least. It's the soup that is the cocoa.
It's the cocoa, right?
Oh, wow.
Did you say that from the team?
It's the first time a guest is actually trying out our food.
Since the lockdown.
Since the lockdown. Okay, cool.
Yes, you're first.
Guess you want to back?
Let's do the native way.
African.
We wanted to start it the African way, so.
It's really spicy. I like spice.
All right.
It's nice.
Thank you.
So did we make you happy?
Yes, you did.
Fantastic. I'm in business.
Yes, indeed. And she's in the business of making people happy, making people smile. So it's great to have had you on the show.
Chef Mary Jane is usually in the business of cooking soups.
And
she is good at
And Mike over there is in the business of eating everything that we eat.
We'll see who is stopping.
Okay.
Yeah, I know him already.
So at this point,
Might
let's
guess
say
anything
one more
today.
time a big happy birthday shout out to Emma. Happy birthday, Emma.
Wherever you are.
We need our cake and our pepper soup.
Please just enjoy
And our
your
small chops.
Yes, we can't wait to have you back on the show sometime during the week. Yeah. And we're going to be here from 6 a.m. tomorrow again, people. Big shout out to our friends at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories as usual. We appreciate you. Everyone, have a great day then.
Bye.
Bye.